Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMV the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about SmackDown, January 25th, 2024. Michael Cole, Corey Graves on commentary, and my boy Kevin Patrick is gone. So we'll see who replaces Kevin Patrick. WWE has had a long, bumpy road to which should be a celebration of the Royal Rumble, the big one for WWE, but no. Of course, fucking Vince McMahon has to foreshadow a lot of what's going on right now, all the good stuff, just because, he's a fucking cochino. Like, and these accusations that came out by Miss Grant are crazy. And what's insane is, like, I believe a lot of it, and I'm not surprised by a lot of the outlandish shit that was done. Naming dildos after wrestlers, and my wife was like, that's sick. And I was like, this man wanted to call Mark Henry Silverback, and Mark Henry is like, no. So, and the crapping on the head, and I was just like, man, and something didn't age well. It popped up on my TikTok feed. It popped up on Twitter is when Stephanie goes, Dad, I did everything for you. But, when you handed me out, blah, 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 to people, I'm like, oh my God, that did not age well. And then one with Punk saying, like, hey, I'm not a dirty, disgusting old man like you, that gets kicked out by these, because you keep sleeping around with other women. And remember when he had Linda, like paralyzed and mute, and he was like making out with Trish Stratus. So all this stuff in these reports, I'm like, yeah. And what's crazy is, like, this isn't like something from the early 2000s. This was like a few years ago, and everything slowly is lining up. That's what's insane about this is, like, him pushing Shane out, him getting Stephanie out of there, and the only person to survive is Hunter. That, and it's crazy to think about how WWE is no longer owned by a McMahon. It's owned by TKO. There we go. That The Rock is on. And it's a flood of just bad publicity for WWE. And Slim Jim was about to pull out from the Royal Rumble, be like, no, dude, but the fact that Vince stepped down and now they're telling him, go the fuck away. Like, just go away. And he made his statement. He's like, these accusations are lies. I'm going to defend my name, blah, 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 blah. But it's really hard to not believe what's in that report, because we all know we've been watching Vince McMahon for a lot of our lives, and look at the Attitude Era and stuff like that. There's some weird shit that's come from that man's brain. Remember when it was documented where he said when Stephanie got pregnant, he's like, what if it's mine? And they're like, no, fucking weirdo, no. So I feel bad for Miss Grant. Like, if all these accusations really do come to light and then they are true, god damn, dude, and the fact that this was only a few years ago, and remember when he was paying, they found all the funds and whatnot that he was taking from WWE to pay off these women, and it's insane. And hopefully, now that he's gone, let's focus on the talent. And I feel really bad for the talent because they're going to be asked these questions. Like, if a journalist is not going to not ask, they're going to be like, yo, hey, what did you think about your former boss is a fucking pervert, disgusting one at that. And it's just like, they don't deserve that. No, they don't deserve that at all. They got the Royal Rumble, we got WrestleMania, but now Vince is gone. Let's move on and move away, and we'll see how these accusations and this lawsuit plays out, because it's not looking good for Vince at all. But let's get on the positive note. Let's talk about SmackDown, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble in Miami, Florida. And we start off with the LA Knight, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, all of them. They're ready. They're ready to fight. They're ready to get this fatal four-way going. And no Roman Reigns, which kind of disappointed me tonight. I was kind of like, this is the go-home show. You got the biggest main event going on with these four, and Roman Reigns is not there. I didn't agree with that, but LA Knight and Randy, AJ, they held it down. And Randy was introduced by his buddy, Eladio. Oh, man, I smudged his last name. My bad. But I guess he's Bad Bunny's friend. Introduced Randy Orton and everything like that. He's a big Randy Orton fan. But so he has him in his corner. But LA Knight, I think, got the best of Randy and AJ Styles. And as he dropped the mic, he's like, yeah, because I'm LA Knight. And Randy gets his receipt from AJ Styles, and that's the way we kick off the show. And we have Carlito versus Santos Escobar with Humberto and Angel on the outside, LDF, baby, and talk about a match. And Santos gets the win. And LWO, though, they get in a fight with Humberto and Angel, and Zelina Vega's on the apron and everything like that, But here comes Elektra Lopez. I was like, oh, shit. And I will tell you, if you listen to my NXT review, I said she is a vicious one on that mic. And I want to see more of her. And I know she's been around for a bit. She has ties to LDF and everything like that. But I'm glad that she got some shine on the main roster and beat Zelina Vega up. Netflix deal, 2025. Raw will be airing there. A $5 billion deal. Talk about a huge announcement. Then the Vince stuff happens. But still, Netflix will be the place to be to watch Monday Night Raw, and the SmackDown in October, I believe, is going over to the USA Network, and NXT is going to CW in October as well. So a lot of shakeup in television, but a $5 billion deal for Monday Night Raw. It's going to be crazy. No longer on television, no longer on a network. That, now they're on Netflix exclusively. We'll see how that pans out. And The Rock is on the TKO board. Oh, man. The Rock is on the TKO board, and, I think he's going to bring some, he loves this business. He grew up in it. He understands it, and he probably knows the dark side of the ring, and those guys are ready for this Vince stuff, too. They're like, oh, look at that. We got, 3 seasons with this shit, guys. Let's do it. AJ, Jimmy, backstage. Jimmy's like, yo, we got to take him out, man. We got to take out LA. We got to take out Randy, and the OC comes after that and like, what was that? And he's just like, don't forget about it. I'm the lone wolf. I'm angry. Then after that, we got the 2K24 reveal. Of course, that happened earlier this week. Nick and Ava are backstage. They brought the little cage with the balls, picking their numbers and everything like that. LDF picks their numbers. Well, Santos picks his number, which was really cool. Then we have a really cool, then Bobby picks his number, sorry. And then we have a really cool package with Bayley. And it's crazy. Like Bayley, I'm predicting Bayley for the win. I just have that feeling. And I love what she said here. It's not a story. It's a destiny. And I was like, oh, goosebumps, man. Oh, that shit was awesome. R-Truth with Nick Ellis and Ava, he picks the ball and says, oh, no. Does this mean I have to quarantine? And Nick is like, no, that means you're in the Rumble. That's your number. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, thanks, Adam. Walk on me. That shit was great, man. He's like, good stuff with R-Truth here. Good stuff with R-Truth. Bobby Lashley with the Street Profits. They go face-to-face with the Final Testament. And how does it end? With them laid out and the Final Testament standing. And that crowd was booing the shit out of them. So I think they're doing a good job with what they want to do with this group. Jimmy's with Ava. Jimmy was hyped up by, Paul earlier with Solo with backstage. And Paul's like, hey, you want to move on? You want to be the shining light, the shining beacon? You go win the Royal Rumble, and you face Seth Rollins for the championship and bring it home to the bloodline. That's what you got to do. So Jimmy's back there. He picks the ball, opens the number, and first he walks up and is like, yeet. And then he looks at it, he's like, oh, no yeet. And I was just like, oh, what number did he get? That's the best part. What number did he get? LA Knight's backstage getting ready. We have the KO and Paul package, everything that happened from last week with those two. They got a big United States Championship match. Carmelo Hayes gets another shot at Austin Theory with Grayson Waller. And guess what? This match was okay. This match was fun, but it was okay. And we got Austin Theory, who gets the win, who did a roll-up, and then we get Trick Williams coming out, and that crowd pop. Whoop that Trick! Whoop that Trick! I was like, oh shit, they are popping for Trick Williams. And Trick Williams, like, Carmelo's giving them the fist bump, and Trick's like, nope, put that down. Put that down, just stop. Because he's going to get his own at Vengeance Day next weekend for the NXT Championship against Ilya Dragunov. That's crazy. And they're still in the Dusty Classic, too, so a lot going on there. And I skipped over this match on purpose. After talking about Bayley, it's not a story, it's destiny. It's just a match I really want to talk about for a bit. The Women's Tag Team Championship match. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus the Kabuki Warriors. As soon as I got home, I was like, I want the Kabuki Warriors to win this match. I really do. I want Bayley to win the Rumble. I want Bayley to go on to face Rhea. I want the Kabuki Warriors here to win the Tag Team Championships and just have this team drip gold with Damage Control. You also have a great thing with Bayley backstage and Bianca as they pick their numbers. But the women's tag team match, I jumped for joy when the Kabuki Warriors came. And I see it, everybody's like, oh my God, Katana and Kaden, they deserve a longer reign and stuff. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. As soon as they beat Piper and Chelsea, I was like, fuck this. No, I was like, I just didn't really care for these two. I think they needed to develop more before we give them championships. And I'm glad the Kabuki Warriors took those championships away from them. I like that. I'm happy. And I want Damage Control to be the most dominant women's faction, just a faction in general in the WWE. And if Bayley wins the Royal Rumble, holy shit. You got Io as champ, you got the Kabuki Warriors as champ, and you have Bayley potentially going to go on and win the Royal Rumble and then, facing Rhea or facing Io Sky. There's so much storytelling you can do with this group, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. I've been loving the Damage Control stuff. It's been on and off, but right now I feel like as storytelling goes, it's hitting, and it's hitting hard. So, KO's backstage with Eladio, and he's interrupted by the Bloodline. And Paul and them are like, no, he's cool. Just because Eladio's like, yeah, I'm going for Randy Orton. And then the Bloodline comes in, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'll shut the fuck up. He's like, oh, respect, come on. Now the main event, ending in a DQ, LA Knight versus Solo, which I kind of thought was going to happen because AJ put his hands on LA Knight, and then Randy's there, then Jimmy's out there, and it just, but my favorite shot of this whole thing is LA getting Randy. And I thought they were going to end it with Randy being on top and everything like that, which I was like, okay, I guess, but LA, bam, got him. And I was like, oh shit, that was awesome. And we ended with LA looking at Randy, and that's the way we end the show. Bada bing, bada boom. I give tonight a big 5 out of 5. A lot going on. And my favorite match of the night was the Women's Tag Team Championship. And shout out to the Kabuki Warriors, man. Shout them out. Nothing but love and respect. Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory 2 was not what I expected, but it was something. But man, great night. We're going to the Royal Rumble. Now let's move on from Vince McMahon. Dirty Cochino, and let's focus on the talent. Let's focus on the storytelling. Let's focus on making a great product going forward. And Slim Jim's like, yo, we're back after all this. So tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Share with your grandma, share with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast and get yourself that sweet NWP logo. Tell me what you think of all this Vince stuff. Tell me what you thought of the show. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Now Theory and poor Carmelo's getting mugged in the middle of the ring. Yeah, 2-on-1 attack by Waller and Theory.
Wait a minute!